Sí, hay frío.
She actually did a lot of pro bono work for Guardian Life.
Guardian Life for juvenile and family.
As a matter of fact, I go back with Guardian Life 30 years. With Joe Goodman. Very, very
It's a labor of love.
very
I
hard.
was just telling her that
What's her name? The commission. Tanya Rubin. Way back. She was also involved.
you gotta love it. It's very rewarding.
Very hard.
Very rewarding.
How much competition? Yes, I do.
Good evening. Welcome to the city of West Miami. Today is Wednesday, June 18, 2014 at 7:37. For the invocation, Ms. Aguilar.
Thank you, please rise. We bow our heads this evening and thank the Lord for our daily blessings, for the food and the meals that we have. We thank Him for family. We thank Him for friends. And we pray for all of our servicemen and women that are abroad protecting our borders. We pray for peace in the country and in the world. We pray for leadership, and we also pray for the elected officials, especially in the city of West Miami, to make the right decisions for the greater good of the community that they serve. We ask you to keep out of harm's way our law enforcement officers and our firefighters. And we ask this in your name. Amen.
Captain, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, roll call, please.
Roll call. Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
Present. Commissioner Rhonda Rodriguez.
Present.
Commissioner Candida Blanca.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Juan Blanes.
Present.
Mayor Eduardo Mujina.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we take item 4, the minutes?
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for May 21st, 2014 Charter Review Board meeting and May 21st, 2014 regular City Commission meeting.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Also,
No.
yes, go ahead.
I was reviewing the minutes, and I don't find any discrepancy. I
Okay.
make a motion to approve.
Okay. Any comments? I need a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
At this time, I would like to take out of order item 11A.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Item 11, under new business agenda items, item 11A. This is an award of recognition to Angelina Caicedo on her academic achievements. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Rodriguez, by Mayor and City Commission.
Thank you. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, fellow commissioners, we have a very special guest in our midst this evening. It is with great honor that I want to recognize Angelina Caicedo, our very own resident and student at Sylvania Heights Elementary. Each year, the school district, come on up here, come up here with me. Come on,
Come on over.
come right up here with me, come here, come over here, come on. You're gonna come up in just one moment, come right over here. So, and we're gonna go to the front and take a picture when I finish telling everybody about you, okay? So, Angelina, each year, the school district presents an academic achievement award to the very best students in the county. And on May 22nd, Angelina went to Banyan Elementary. Well, she's a student at Sylvania, but she accepted her award, her Academic Achievement Award at Banyan Elementary. And you know what, Angelina? I love being on the Education Committee. That's the committee that I'm on here, because I get to do these cool things like this and present these really fun awards. So I love my job on the Education Committee. And hopefully, you have started something here that the city can continue. We want to continue to award students who try really hard and do the very best like you did this past year. By the way, Angelina just finished first grade and she's going on to second grade, right? At Sylvania Heights Elementary. And she's doing a lot of reading during the summer, so she's continuing her studies, and she did very well. And we have to commend Mom also, because Mom and Dad, we know how difficult it is, how much support they gave you, right? They told you how important your school is, how important doing homework and studying real hard is. So you need to continue doing that, because one day when you get older, maybe you could sit up here and be one of us. Be a commissioner or a mayor or city manager. But I understand that you like animals. So maybe a veterinarian, take care of animals. Wouldn't that be cool? So you have to continue doing hard work in school and studying and doing your very best. And hopefully the city can continue honoring and awarding students who go above and beyond. Would you like that? So for now, I'd like to call up your sister, Victoria, and Mom, Angie, okay? And let's call up Abu and Victoria for an award and for a picture. Yes? Let's go up here. Let's go around here to the front and take a picture. And I'm going to give you your award now.
Ay, qué linda.
Qué cosa más
Ay, pero qué cosa tan linda.
Victoria and Dad's here. This is Victoria. Victoria goes to Sylvania Heights Elementary also. She's going to kinder, we said, yes? Kinder. So, Angelina, I'm going to stand down here so you can see what I'm reading, okay? This is a certificate of recognition presented to Angelina Caicedo. And what it says is, the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami on this occasion take great pride in recognizing young talent that go above and beyond expectations in order to achieve their educational goals. That says a lot. That means you did a really good job. That's what all that says. Give me a copy. So, we hereby congratulate you on your outstanding academic achievement, accomplishments, school spirit, and participation in the 2013-2014 school year, and extend our best wishes in the future educational endeavors. So that means continue doing a good job. High five. And this is by the mayor and the city commission in the city of West Miami. So this, my friend, is for you, for an outstanding job. Congratulations.
Wow.
That's bigger than my book.
Can you hold that okay? So now, let me get my glasses off. So let me step up here with Mom, and now we're gonna look and take a picture, and we're gonna all smile. Yes?
I was gonna be in the, oh, you wanted to be in the picture
Everybody,
too,
come
baby.
on.
You want me to take
Abu
some?
and Petit, no, no, no.
Take it.
Abu and
I could take your,
Please stop recording.
I could take your picture, sir. I could take with your camera. Yo tengo una cámara igual. Sí.
Come on in, everybody, squeeze in here.
We have room, the camera.
Oh, boy. All right, we're good? Awesome.
Now I got one more thing for you guys, don't leave just yet. I know the plaque is really cool, but I think a cupcake might be just as cool, right? So, this is for you, congratulations. See, that you can put on the wall, this you can eat.
We're already at
To
dinner.
be such a great little sister, right? And for helping with homework, right?
Come this way.
Yes.
Look to the camera.
That would be great, right before you go to sleep.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, we're on summer. We're on summer.
Yeah, sugar rush.
It's okay because we're on summer vacation.
Sugar rush. Okay.
All righty, we're good?
Gladys, you remember when?
We were having that conversation, right, Gladys? And then they
Congratulations.
have it down, and then you cry and cry and cry, right?
I'm driving
Thank
my
you.
daughter this Friday to tell her.
I know you're just like Africana, that's what I was saying. Gracias.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
That's a good idea.
Mayor, may I have 1 second just to get a picture of the girls?
Okay.
By themselves?
Yeah. You both be right there, good.
You want me to hold the cupcakes? You want me to take the cupcakes from her?
Is that
Yeah, let me hold your cupcakes. Down with the cupcakes, okay?
Maybe put them back on the
Quiero
floor.
autoridad que no viene.
How about if you guys sit, have them sit down? Sit down, exactly, sit down, put your feet down, perfect.
Yeah,
There you go.
Now you hold your face.
Put the plaque, perfect. There we go, awesome. Perfect. Smile.
Say cheese.
Con lo que termina. Con lo que termina.
That's a good one. Say thank you.
Qué linda. Muy bonito.
Congratulations.
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 Have a good night. You, oh.
Okay, at this time, I want to introduce Mari Gomez for Miami-Dade County City Court Judge. Welcome to our city.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the commission, city attorney, city manager, and city clerk, as well as the residents. My name is Mary Gomez, and I'm presently running for circuit court here in our county in Group 27. That is an open seat. The incumbent judge is retiring, but it is a contested race, and the elections are August 26th. So I thank you for allowing me to come and address you for a couple of minutes and advising the citizens and raising awareness as to judges and the whole election process, which is usually confusing to the residents of our county. I have been practicing law for 19 years in our county, and it was great pleasure for me to see your city attorney, Mr. Jose Villalobos. I didn't know he was the city attorney. I worked for him many, many years ago as a paralegal before I decided to go to college. I had to take a break in my studies because finances did not allow for me to go from high school directly to college. And I said, well, if I'm thinking of going to law school, why not go and work at a law firm? And I did, and here I am, 19 years later, coming to your city asking for your support for circuit court. The bulk of my experience has been in the civil arena. I've had the pleasure of representing low to middle income families in marital and family law disputes, as well as juvenile cases. I've been a big part of the juvenile guardian ad litem program, as well as the family guardian ad litem program. So although I've been in private practice, I've dedicated the bulk of my career to public service from the private arena. And Mr. Mayor, I'd like to congratulate you on a wonderful city. I've had the opportunity to visit your senior center twice already. Ms. Miraya was amazing, and your residents are astounding in the way that they've welcomed me. So I want to thank you all. And remind the citizens that it's important to vote, especially for your judges. Like, again, a lot of people don't realize that they have the power to vote for the members of the judiciary. I have a website. It's www.gomez4judge.com that has more information about my background and any questions that I can answer for anybody. Thank you, and God bless you.
Any questions? Any
Thank
comments?
you.
Mr. Attorney, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Villalobos.
Let me say a couple of words. It's a pleasure for me to see that Mary is running for judge. I was in the Judicial Nominating Committee selecting judges. Judges are elected or selected. When there's an attrition, there's a death, or there's a retirement or something, there's a group of people, 9, 3 selected by Florida Bar, 3 selected by the governor, and 3 selected at random by the 6th. We used to get appointments, request for appointments into the hundreds. So I was able to interview hundreds of applicants for one position of judge. And with that, I developed a sort of a gauge of knowing about the character of people. Before me came people that were quite versed in the law, were very smart, but did not have what you really need to be a judge. In order to be a judge, in addition to knowing the law, you have to have the empathy, the sympathy, the dedication, and the love and affection for the people. What I can say about this lady is that she qualifies, and she would have been my #1 choice in the Judicial Nominating Committee when I was sitting there. I am very proud to see her running for judge after so many years. It's a pleasure to see a young lawyer, especially a woman that really worked very hard, bloom into what she has become today. Thank you for
And
being you.
This was
okay?
not planned, by the way. I want to add, I for some reason, I always forget to say this. I'm also a Supreme Court certified family mediator, as well as the special master for code enforcement for the town of Miami Lakes. So I have had the opportunity to sit in quasi-judicial positions and act as a neutral and impartial body. So I've seen what it's like to advocate, but I've also been able to be on the other side, which is, not a judge, but it's quasi-judicial, and I thoroughly enjoy it. As Mr. Villalobos said, I find that I have the temperament, the compassion, the sympathy, and the patience to temper justice and mercy, which is, after all, what a judge has to do. Thank you. Thank you for those lovely words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Back to the order of the agenda, item 5.
Item 5, report of the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Commission. I submitted this afternoon, and I apologize for the late submittal of the report. However, in your packet, you will find a written report, and I'm trying to put my finger on it. Give me 1 second, please. I'm looking at the wrong agenda. I don't have a packet. I gave mine to the mayor. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me get to it.
Next.
Sorry. Mr. Mayor, I gave you my packet.
You did?
Yes, I did, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You can have it back.
I have one. Thank
You
you.
got one? Okay.
My memorandum talks about a couple of things, and I'd just like to highlight those for the record. The 4th of July flyers, you've been provided with copies of the flyers designed by our IT department, and we trust that you like them. We had a meeting with Mayor Mujina earlier, who chairs the Special Events Committee, to discuss the 4th of July, and he approved of the flyers. It's very colorful. It contains the information of our corporate sponsors in the back, and I think it's very catchy to the eye. And so every city resident will receive a flyer, which will be hand-delivered to their home sometime next week. We're also featuring the flyer in the city's website. So they'll be delivered next week, and we trust that the community will take advantage of our 4th of July activities. That being said, we're talking about the website. We're pleased to report that we have made lots of progress with the flow of information being added to the city's website. We are receiving reports from the Google Analytics and usage coming from the visitors, who continues to increase to over 15,000 in numbers, visitors who have visited our website since early April. So that's impressive, as far as we're concerned. We're putting our city on the map and more people are accessing information about the city of West Miami. We continue to update it to include all the activities that the city sponsors, like Father's Day activity. We're trying to piece a video together, which we hope to start tomorrow or Friday, about our summer camp events, and that gets edited. And it includes some of the field trip participation, and then we hope to be able to feature that on the city's website, and that should bring new people to our summer camp program and our after-school program. So we trust that you're satisfied as we continue to make strides to improve our site and promote our city in a positive fashion. The next item on my report is the yearly report, or the closeout report for the IRS, and we know it as a VITA site. Several years ago, the city allowed the IRS to have a place in our community center to host the tax returns for low-income families, or families whose threshold, their household combined thresholds qualifies them for a free tax filing return. This year, we physically tallied the number of residents versus the non-residents who use the site for their tax returns. And while the site offers a very pleasant environment, there are only a handful of West Miami residents who take advantage of the service. The sign-up list that we implemented this year shows that a total of 179 persons used the site to actually do their 2013 file their 2013 tax returns. Of the 179 who signed up, only 16 were West Miami residents, which is less than a 9%. The city needs to determine if we wish to continue with a partnership with the VITA site at this time or not. Our end involves the computer setup, some maintenance, provide air conditioning and restroom facilities, and troubleshooting computer glitches along the way. A few yearly conferences, and now they're not done in person, they're done by webinars and teleconferences. And we are reimbursed by the program for the cost of the office supplies devoted to the effort through a grant. It does require for us to avail ourselves after hours if something comes up within that window of the 8 or 9 weeks while the tax return season is in effect. From a service standpoint, definitely it's a great cause, but the users from West Miami are simply not enough to tip the scale. And obviously, the decision to keep the site open or closed lies with the mayor and city commission. We will yield to your decision, and we're ready to respond to any questions that you may have. I spoke to Ana Raposo on an exit interview this morning, Mrs. Leon and I, and the IRS has expressed a desire to continue the partnership and the use of our site because obviously it's a very pleasant site. However, we have very low participation from within our community, so I would need a direction from the mayor and city commission on whether we keep the site or close it down.
I have a question. In terms of, and I know it's hard to calculate amounts, but in terms of money that we spend, because you got to cater to it, and you got to, you got to be around, you got to service people, and it's an extra item for our city employees. So.
In the case of my office, I usually make arrangements to stay to make sure that the facility is open, that the lady or the gentleman that is assigned to the site to sign up the people as they come, that they show up, that they know what their limits are, where they're supposed to go. Usually I make those my later days. Mr. Pena has been staying, something Mr. Kulik used to do. Mr. Pena has either stayed late or is available via phone call because there are computer glitches along the way. So does the city spend money, not cash, physical cash, but we do allocate resources. We have in-kind contributions for the facility. Obviously, we don't leave the room temperature at a specific setting after hours. We make it cooler so that people are comfortable there. We did not have an influx of people this last year as we had in prior years. We have had to call the police department in the past, and I believe that the chief can attest to this. We've had people get into altercations about who's first in line next door, and about, I was in line, but I went to my car and I came back and you lost your spot, and that has cause for altercations. Definitely, we got to provide a clean space, so it does require maintenance. We got to come back after each session and mop up at least the trail where people use it, because the community center has to be clean the next day for the activities that we run at the community center. Do enough West Miami residents use the service? The answer is no. So we need to make a decision on whether we keep it open or if we allow them to select another site. And that's a decision that needs to be made so that I can convey that information to the IRS.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How is this advertised? Does the IRS advertise? Do we advertise?
They advertise it, they put out press releases, they put out public information bulletins. Obviously, this is a tax service return. There's specified language that is used in this advertisement. We have included it in the past at the counter, in the police department, Public Works. We've made flyers for the program. But because of household income limitations and certain financial data, some people don't qualify to use that service. They run it with volunteers, people that are knowledgeable. They use a lot of interns from Florida International University that are studying accounting, and from UM that are studying accounting and have knowledge on how to file simple tax returns.
So it's advertised to the general public, not necessarily
That is
our
correct.
surrounding areas.
It is
Just a
general public.
announcement.
Exactly. It is a convenience site, but we have to determine, I believe in being good, but I believe in doing the greater good for the people of West Miami, and really devoting our efforts and our energy to other efforts that cater to the majority of the people of West Miami. And this is a problem that I've brought up with Ana Raposo for the last 3 to 4 years, and we always ask them to tally the number of West Miami versus non-West Miami. Obviously, after 31 years of working with the city, I recognize who the residents are, and I see a lot of unfamiliar faces, as Mr. Pena has, and a lot of the people that come here to do their filing of their taxes are taxing our resources, yet they don't live in the city of West Miami. Their argument is money comes back to our community. Well, it doesn't come back to the city's coffers. Yes, by people filing returns, they spend money in the community, or they go on vacation, or do pay their bills. But it's not a service like the passport service. The passport service taxes are resources, but they leave a physical, tangible revenue to the city. And so at some point, we have to, everybody wants to use the center for free. Everybody has a good charitable organization, but we can't please all of the people all the time. So I come to you, and if you ask me for my recommendation, I don't think that the numbers warrant us to keep the site open. That would be, and Anna knows this. I've already expressed to her, not only this year, for the last 3 years, I've been expressing my sentiment. They have done, literally everything possible they have done press releases. I believe the mayor has been invited here to press releases, press opportunities, and really they don't have a show of hands. It's a great public service. It really is.
I have a question. How many days did you use it?
They use it for a period of 2.5 months, Mr. Pena. They start sometime in late January, and they run it through April 15th, or as close as
How
the
many
tax.
nights a week?
Tuesdays and Thursday nights, from
So 3
6
months?
to 8 or 8:30 p.m.
3 months?
2.5 months.
2.5 months?
Yes.
Twice a week?
Yes, sir.
8 times a month?
So they use 8 and they 16,
16, 20, 20.
22 days.
Right.
That's what they
Right.
use.
Right. So, I mean, I will yield to whatever, if you wish to keep it open one more year to give it some time to see if things pick up, but it's been, I mean,
And money-wise, how much cost to the city?
you're talking about employees who don't make money over time, but we're taxing employees to make themselves available to be here. You're actually having, do you keep, and if I may ask Mr. Penna, Mr. Mayor, do you bring in maintenance after hours to clean up after the sessions? In the morning, earlier in the morning? Right, because the center has to be open and clean for our senior program. So we have to actually accommodate for a maintenance crew to come in and obviously clean up a trail, even if it's a trail, the bathrooms, they do use the bathrooms. So is it worth keeping it open? To be honest with you, I don't see the numbers.
Now, let me ask you, we're offering this, we give it to them at no cost.
Yes.
What's the feasibility of perhaps charging?
We cannot charge.
Cannot charge.
No, because we're guided by IRS, and this is a voluntary program, because it's a free program. It's a service to the community.
Prior to coming to us, where were they? Or was this program in effect prior to them using
No,
our
actually,
facility?
this program has been in effect for maybe 6 years or so,
And they've always been here?
and they have always been here. This is one of the numerous sites that they have in the community.
Where's the next site?
Their most popular sites are in Model City, Little Haiti, Little Havana, and areas where there's a real need for this type of public service for people who need help filing their taxes. People who cannot pay $150, $175 to get their taxes done.
Hey, how many people come, Yolanda?
Out of the 179 that registered this year, we have a roster, a physical roster downstairs. 16 out of the 179 were West Miami residents. That's about an 8.5%.
Do we have any idea geographically where the other
All
people
all
came
areas,
from? All areas.
Northwest, Doral, Little Havana, Flagami, other parts of Miami-Dade County.
About 25 persons each day.
If you break it down into a daily, yes. So,
Okay, Vice Mayor, any comments?
Well,
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I thought you
no,
wanted to
I
I want to hear from the whole.
I hear what the city manager is saying, and, for her, after 6 years, I remember when they first came, I recall when they first asked to use our facility, and it was quite a while ago, and it's been a long 6 years, right? And,
7 years, yes, sir.
And, and I know her character, and, for her to sit there and tell us that this thing is not working out, it's got to be not working out.
I mean, we turn people away that want to use the facility to bring programs that maybe have another benefit
More
to
benefit.
city residents, and we tell them, no, you can't do it, you have to be registered as a not-for-profit organization, and then you can only have it free every so many times a year. And so, where do we draw the line as to, accommodating everyone to use our site for free? And it's kind of difficult, it really is. Because I always say, if it benefits one person, then maybe it's well worth it. But the numbers consistently continue to be low from our end, from usage from West Miami residents.
Well, and not just that, but I'm sure that that inflicts a morale issue with our employees, because if they have to come in earlier and stay later and not be compensated,
Department directors don't get compensated overtime, and, we attend commission meetings. In the case of Mr. Penna, he attends code enforcement, zoning, and then to ask him to stay for another 20 days for something that's really doesn't have a tremendous benefit, as evidenced by the numbers. You're taxing the people that work the most for you, and
May I interrupt you? I think
For-
we did beating a dead horse over here. The recommendation of the manager is to close it, and,
I agree.
And I concur.
I mean, is everybody in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm sorry,
you.
I didn't mean to
No,
cut you
sir.
short.
Motion passes.
Motion passes.
I will notify Ms. Raposo. And I thank you for that. The next item in my report is also an issue with the community center. As part of our ongoing commitment to stay within our budget parameters, the city has had to discontinue, as of July 1st, 2014, the second meal to the homebound recipients. And I think we briefly chatted about this, Commissioner Suarez, as you chair that committee. At the current rate of $3.12 per additional meal for that second meal, for an average of 80 clients per day, the city spends about $60,000 a year. If we keep this up, it's going to trigger a deficit in the community center budget. The community center director sent out a letter to the homebound recipients notifying them of the changes that will take effect on July 1st. If at any time during the year the city underperforms in other categories that we get reimbursed for, like congregate meals or any of the classes or screening and assessment units, then we can revisit this item. We provide the Alliance for Aging a monthly report on the services and the units of service that we cater at the center. That includes meals, classes, transportation, recreation, screening, and assessment units. Along those lines, the city has had to take on the expenses for paying the community center teachers for the various classes. These activities were funded by Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and over the years, with the budget cuts, they have never put funding back to cover the cost of the teachers. That's a line item of about $18,500 per year to provide Tai Chi, arts and ceramics, English classes, and the classes that we hold at the center. However, the classes are a necessary component because it all has a domino effect. If the users of the programs or the participants or the clients attend the community center for classes, then they stay for the lunches. If they stay for the lunches, they go on the field trips. And so that's how we are viewed by the Alliance for Aging for the continuation of the funding for under our, what they call local service provider program. So, you know, these are components of the program that we've had to fund over the years. The estimated transfer any given year from either the general fund or from reserves in the community center to balance that center budget runs anywhere from $60,000 to $90,000, again, depending on the level of participation. We have West Miami residents, and we also have outside of West Miami area residents that participate. Why don't we close it to West Miami residents in this case is because we are funded by the state of Florida, and we have to be able to continue receiving this program dollars, we have to open it up to people who live outside the area. So what we need to do from our end is to control the expenses so that you don't have a deficit issue that we can't cover at the end of the year. So we bring this to your attention because we're going to be talking about this after next week when we sit down to talk to you about the preliminary budget. I mean, I see it as a necessary evil, unfortunately.
But I want to make a comment, Mayor, on this. Yolanda, when we receive an extra money, we provide an extra dinner.
Correct.
But as soon the funds are over, we have to cut that because they need the people who, all the residents that we, the Meal on Wheels, that we sent, that extra meal was an announcement since the beginning, telling them this extra meal will be provided until the funds are available. So when the funds are depleted, because that's not our money, it's money that came from the, so that's the way.
Correct.
If
Correct.
the funds finish,
Right.
we have to wait until the next funds are available.
Exactly.
That's it.
Or if we underperform in some of the categories, let's say our roster falls from what we are having, what we're serving here on the congregate end, then we can shift those dollars and use it for the extra meal, like Chairman Suarez is telling you, because our contract is a modified contract. But the expenses associated with the center have skyrocketed, and we have to monitor those. And we see the need to explain it to you, because obviously you may get some calls from your constituents saying, why am I not getting my second meal?
Yeah, that,
So it's a budgetary issue.
that was an extra money, and the money ends. That's it, the program ends.
Okay.
We will continue to provide updates as they become available. The next item in my report includes the discussion about 1129 Southwest 66th Avenue. This is the property that the city acquired back in March 2014. Since then, the city applied for a tree grant, and we have received notice of that award. However, we have not received the memorandum of understanding between the Department of Agriculture and the city of West Miami. So the terms and conditions of the award are unknown at this time. Initially, we had talked about the possibility of renting this property for extra income. However, now that there is a grant tied to the property for planting of trees, and there may be a time limitation specified by the Department of Agriculture, we believe that renting the property may be detrimental to the grant. So we bring this to you because in speaking to Mr. Penna, as recently as today, we believe and we recommend that we not rent the property. And during the budget conversations that we're going to be having with you very soon here, we're going to be discussing with you the plan about actually phasing out or demolishing the existing residence that sits there, and talk about the development or the expansion of the garden club park there on 66th Avenue and 12th Street. And again, we're waiting to receive the paperwork on that grant so that we can come back and tell you we have this time to do it. This is the plan of action, so that we can at least develop a sketch to see where the trees are going to be planted.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The extension of that park is going to be affecting positively our complaint?
Yes.
Yes.
Obviously, it's going to create more park area, which is something that the comp plan requires
I
to
know.
allow
But
density
that
projects.
extension will be big enough to have a positive effect?
Yes,
Or we need larger park than that?
we need more. We need more, but that's a big step. That's a good
My
beginning.
question is that have to be do now? Or we may rent the house for a couple of months or 1 year? And then when the comp plan comes, we buy another parcel, or we then extend the park?
The problem that we have is the tree grant. If the tree grant,
When come the grant?
the grant, we have been notified, and I gave you all a copy of that, accept the award letter. And the award letter says from the Department of Agriculture, within the next few months, you will be receiving a memorandum of understanding between the parties, or a memorandum of agreement between the parties that specifies the terms and conditions of the use of the dollars.
But I mean, the money, that grant will come in 6 months?
We don't know.
You don't know?
We don't know. We
And
don't know.
the conditions either.
And we don't know the conditions.
No, I
They
know.
can tell you, we have $10,000, you're gonna match the $10,000 that was approved here.
That
And
was-
and we're gonna give you 6 months to plant the trees. Then if you do the tree planting, we need to have access to the property. If you rent the property, you have to then respect certain,
No, but
some tenants.
We're talking about if the plants come, and we plant the plants, then we may rent the house for 1 year, 2 years, until.
No,
the
sir.
comp plan-
No,
No, sir.
no.
We will not be in compliance.
No.
If you
but
accept the
go ahead,
grant
you
and
can
plant the
talk.
trees, you gotta turn it into a park.
You gotta turn it into a park. Those are
So
the
the trees are.
contingent that the city will
conditioned to
use the
expand the
space
Right.
for
At
park.
the beginning, you have to say.
Yes.
The
Plus-
application was filed by the city of West Miami saying,
The application was done that those plants are going to be there.
those trees,
Those
native trees,
The trees are going to be there to expand the park,
as part of a park facility.
to the park.
Correct.
So that, then you have to demolish the house now. That's what
Plus-
you mean?
Right.
Plus, if we're going to rent the house, we have to spend at least $5,000 in electrical repairs.
Well, that's not the point. The point is that the grant for the trees
Okay.
Is
are already
awarded.
for the park.
Yes. They have already formally advised us that we will be receiving
All right.
$10,000 from Department of
So- So
Agriculture.
we don't have to talk no more about that.
Right.
We don't.
But
Right.
initially,
I
we
mean,
had come
if
to
the
you,
trees are- If the grant was a request for the trees in order to expand the park,
right,
it's obvious that you have to demolish the house.
right. Now, we didn't think it was gonna come as soon as it did, the notice, and we felt that we could possibly generate some income from the rental of the property for like a year or 18 months. That changed once we were awarded the official notice.
I know, and so we have
So-
to go in that direction.
Yes,
That's what
and
you're
we
saying.
will be talking in the next few days to you about the development of that park expansion.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, Mayor.
It is 8:20, and we're still on the report of the city manager, and we have, so please, I know we need to dedicate the time and ask the proper questions, but we're still in the city manager's report. We haven't even talked about the items on the agenda, so,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Liz?
Mr. Mayor, the last item in my report is Congresswoman Eliana's Ross Leighton's office will be here on Wednesday, June 25th. They have requested the use of our site, and we have assigned to them the chambers as last year. They have been talking to the city clerk for a period of 3 hours, and this is what they do, their constituent outreach program. Her aide, Lourdes Ruiz, will be here to meet with the Congresswoman's constituents to discuss issues as highlighted in the attached flyer, which is attached to my report. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that was a statement in general, not directed to the city manager. That was a statement in general.
We have to
Okay,
clarify it, man.
I know, but we need to move
We have a
right.
great manager, she would like to explain.
I know.
If you don't like, man, I'm sorry.
Commissioner, actually,
She like to explain. She likes to
I
talk.
think you're the one, Commissioner. I'll be direct. But let's move right along. Okay, all right. Report of the city attorney.
She's a talker.
7 years ago. I have no report.
Thank you. Next item, item number 7.
Report of the city engineers, no report. Item 8, committee reports, the report of the mayor.
Very simple. Gray flyer. Since Mr. Quintana has been on board, our website has improved under the guidance of course, staff, but a great improvement. Thank you.
Next item.
Next item.
Item 9, citizen presentations. I have Hugo Suedo to speak before the city commission.
Okay. Please come to the podium, your name and address for the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Hugo Suero. I live at 6480 Southwest 21st Street, Miami, Florida. I've been a citizen of West Miami for the last 45 years. I usually don't come here, as you probably know, because I think you're doing a great job. Let's put it this way. I think you're spending your time and really doing what I should be doing sometimes, actually. My question here is that almost 3 weeks ago, just before the last meeting that was canceled, on a Friday night, there was some concrete trucks that are going by 65 Avenue and 21st Street, actually. There's a big building being built on 67th Avenue between 22nd and 21st Street. The problem is that there are concrete trucks, actually. It's like the garbage truck that you live in West Miami, you hear in the morning when they go around, actually. exactly the same way. It triggers some alarms. It woke me at 2:40 in the morning. I couldn't sleep all night because the traffic could keep going all night long. One of the complaints the ones that were here before a few years ago, some of the complaints we put at the time was traffic, that was going to be a problem. Some of the problems we said that the value of the property was going to go down, and specifically on the people living next to that place. I personally feel sorry for these people that are actually next to that on 66th Avenue, right across the street from where the building is being built now. And I know it's coming one between 22nd and 21st now, and between 21st and 22nd Street, another building have been approved there, which is going to affect value for the houses next to it, and it's going to be a problem for the people living in the area. The only thing I come here today is just to ask, when we call, some people call the police on that night. My neighbors call the police. There's some people that across the street from my house that are sick. Luckily, nothing happened to him, actually, and usually if you go to across my street, and some of you have been in my house, actually, that this thing calls, the ambulances go there to get that person in because of problems. If they have a problem at night on things like that, you may have a potential problem, and people complaining about a legal problem because of a condition, medical condition might increment the problems. The only thing I'm asking from you is, in this case, do not allow the city or whatever is building that place actually to work all night long. I think initially you sent a leaflet at homes when the project was going on. They will be working from 7 o'clock, and that was something that was sent out to the houses actually. 7 o'clock, I think, till 7 p.m. Not in the middle of the night, not at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not keeping me awake in this case. Actually, I had to complain, and I know many of the neighbors here have the same problem. I know some of my neighbors call the police department. I talked to some policemen department a few days later, and they told me the hours of operations are from 7 o'clock to 7 at night, and if they occurs again, call the police. But at that time, they told them, and they told me, I called the building department, and they told me they have special permit. What I'm asking from you in this case is just to prevent that from happening, actually to prohibit it. Why should people be having to be awake all night long? Because this building has been built. Why they cannot go through 67th Avenue? I know Coral Way have been closed because of the CBS that's being built there. Sometimes one line on Coral Way have been closed. Why cannot be done on 67th Avenue? To go on the commercial street, not on a residential street in this case. The traffic in my house, since that one way have been built on 22nd and one way on 21st, have duplicated and maybe 10 times more traffic comes next to my house now. And I feel that affects the value of the property where I live, and I think it's going to affect, eventually will affect the property of the people living next to that building. I will always ask you, I did at one point, think of yourself living, all of you that live here in West Miami, put an 8th-floor building next to your house, right in front of your house. I know I'm going to have to start closing my windows because I live in a block away, because I'm going to have people, my privacy is going to be affected because of it. I know they're good ideas, and I listened to Luciano some time ago about the increasing income that the city needs. But please don't do it on the backs of people that live close to the area. And I please ask you, in this case, if possible, not to allow this to happen, actually, not to allow, just to allow the regular hours for building, not to allow the midnight, the 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning of people working there, keeping people being awake. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can Mr. Pena elaborate on the
Sure.
situation and the circumstances of that construction?
We are developing a city block. We're not developing a one parcel. So the one-way around 22nd Street leading out to 21st Street was a must. And in order to accomplish that, you needed to close half the street down to allow them a staging area. The building that's being built is a $22 million project. I doubt very seriously that it's going to have a negative impact on the adjacent properties when it's finished. Obviously, it's being built in the center of a developed city, so you're going to have inconveniences. The initial ground floor, the garage, and the next 2 floors have to be poured all at once. In other words, they got to pour 600 cubic yards of concrete within a specified time because there's cables that go across the whole floor to keep the building from shifting. So that is a must. In order to accomplish this, they stack all the vehicles on 67th Avenue and keep them out there until they're ready to start in the morning, which is usually started around 4 in the morning. Once they start at 4 in the morning, the trucks do have to come into the city, and they exit out 22nd Street all the way to 64th and out to Coral Way to leave. So there is an inconvenience. However, it is something that has to be done because it has to dry. The cement has a certain period of time to dry. If it doesn't, then they get cold joints, and it's all a waste. So they have applied for a special permit on several occasions to pour these floors. There is another one coming up, I believe it's this Friday, Saturday, actually.
Saturday.
And after that, there's 2 more. So once they finish those significant pours, then they will go back to the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. working hours. But unfortunately, this has to be done.
And once they're finished, although the one-way will continue, but the street will be expanded back to the normal size as.
Oh, once the building is finished, they have to restore the street. They have landscaping that's going in the right-of-ways. They have sidewalk improvements, parking improvements, all kinds of other benefits that the city's getting out of it, plus water lines and everything else that's being installed for the project.
Is there any possible way to reroute the exiting cement trucks so they don't go through the residential area?
Unfortunately, we don't have 65th Avenue doesn't exit to the north, to the south. It's a dead end because 22nd Street was never open to 24th Street.
Right.
So they have to drive through there and exit out 64th.
They cannot go west.
If they go west, they got to go down 21st, around 65th Avenue, and then back out to 21st. It's a longer run. More residents are affected. If you do a U, it's a longer run than an L.
Right.
So how many more times, you said 2 to 3?
After this one that they're going to do this Saturday, then they have 2 more pours after that.
Okay. And they start at what time, and what's the potential?
They start stacking the trucks on 67th Avenue usually about midnight to be ready at 4 a.m. with all the trucks one after the other pouring the cement.
And it will go on till?
Usually, they finish that pour, usually lasts to about 12 noon.
Okay. So the stacking will be on
It's on 67th Avenue.
67th Avenue.
They're not allowed to stack any vehicles on the city streets.
So the actual noise will happen during
When the trucks are actually going through or backing up into the site to dump the cement.
Okay.
Which starts at 4
Yes, usually,
and goes until 12 noon?
yes. You're talking about 60 trucks that they have to pour all at once.
You said the next one's a Saturday. You don't have any idea what day of the week the other 2 would be?
No, that all depends on the construction schedule.
Provided that they can follow their construction schedule,
Correct.
because there's days they come to a complete stop because of the weather.
Right.
I have a question. Do you think this is going to take a month or 2-3 weeks?
No.
No, the pour takes,
No.
the pour
That
takes
takes a
6 to
single
8
day.
hours. After that,
No,
the other 2
no.
pours, probably within the next month will be done,
My
yes.
question is this. You said 2 or 3 more,
2 more pours after this
2
one,
more. And one will be this next Saturday?
yes.
And the other will be in 2 weeks or?
Probably,
So we take a month,
about a month,
is my question.
yes.
This coming Saturday, maybe 1 or 2 weeks later.
And then about a month after that,
And then finish.
with the big
Yeah, because
pours.
they have to pour all the concrete at the same time in order
Exactly.
to the concrete be solid.
Exactly.
I don't understand that. You guys, you don't understand it, right? You understand about the concrete, when they pour the concrete, have to be once,
I heard that, I
you know.
just heard him actually. The problem is that they're not going by 66, they're going by 65.
Correct.
65,
They have to come out,
65 lines.
correct, to go around. There's not enough.
66, they have a line to go, and 67 is open also. 22nd is also a lane that is open there.
They're
They're
co-
coming by, I guess, 22nd, I don't know where, or,
Mr. Suedo, they're coming in from 67th Avenue through 22nd, going around the block if they can on 66, or if not, they go back out 65th
and
to
they are
22nd.
dumping concrete after they clean the trucks, right on your, I wish they were here also. I don't see them there. They have been cleaning your trucks, is that your?
No, it has nothing to
Uh,
do. By the way, can you come, can you?
The remains of the concrete that they have, washing it and putting it inside the,
not dead, but not that.
okay, I'm sorry. Okay, they clean the trucks and put it in your drains, in the drains of the city also.
We will check
There are
that,
people that took pictures of that thing the other day.
sir.
Because they came out complaining, they were threatening on fighting what was happening there. And it's a problem, actually. The only thing is, why they cannot start at 6 o'clock in the morning and finish at 7 o'clock?
Because the sun of the day will not allow the cement long enough time for it to have one solid pour. The sun is the problem.
They have to do it or not.
Yes, sir. It has to be a complete joint. It can't have cold joints in between.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
may I offer something? I mean, again, we go back to the necessary evils. This project is underway. It has been approved. The construction is progressing. I think as a courtesy to the residents in the immediate area, the city should publish an informational letter in English and Spanish, and we can prepare it tomorrow, letting the residents know that they're going to be inconvenienced 3 more times. First time starting next Saturday, and the reason why they're being inconvenienced, that we understand how difficult this
Ms.
is for
Aguilar,
them.
until that building is finished completely, they're gonna consider it an inconvenience.
I understand that, sir, and I talked to the neighbors.
They're not
I
gonna-
had one who spent an hour in my office the other day, but unfortunately, with progress comes certain inconveniences. But I think that the city, as a friendly gesture, so that people in the residential area are at least in tune with the fact that the commission knows about it. You have been, you have heard from residents. At least a courtesy notice to the residents, I think, will walk a long way. And let them know, we apologize for the inconvenience of projects, but the benefits later on will be greater for the city. There's gonna be 3 pours, and the reason why it's being done. You can put it in very simple language so that everybody understands. Juan, you have to explain it to me because I don't understand it, but
Okay,
Mr. Mayor?
that may walk a long ways with your residents.
okay.
I agree with the city manager. We all have empathy, and we all feel, believe me, noise is one of my pet peeves.
I can assure you, I
I-
couldn't sleep at night.
And quality of life,
Because it's like having the garbage truck going on and on and
but,
on and on.
but,
and
but
on.
that's not gonna go on forever. It's just gonna happen two or three more times, and, you know, and then that's it. That's gonna be the end of it. I know that you will still be inconvenienced in a way, but
Remember, there are 2 more. There are 2 more buildings, the one on 22nd and 21st. Between 21st and 20, it's gonna have the same exact problem. The one on the other, the one that also was approved here on 10, in 10th Street, if they build that ever, you're gonna have exactly the same problem. As I said before, Way was closed because of the building the CVS. I've seen it, I'm sorry. I know Way, they could do the same thing on 67th Avenue. Can they go with 67?
Coralway was never closed.
Well, half, one way.
What was
one side.
closed was 23rd Street for a little while they were doing the water line. That's the only time 23rd Street was closed.
21, 23rd Street
was blocked there for local traffic also.
Exactly, for a little time while they did the water line.
For more than 1 day, several days.
A
Can I-
couple of
can I
weeks
offer-
while they did the
can
water
I-
line.
Can I offer something? Can I offer something? We have allowed you to spread, and we will take it into consideration, I mean, believe me, typically, people come over here, and we say, thank you very much, and we move on to the agenda. As a proof of how we feel about it, we have listened to you again and again, and believe me, we will take it into consideration. But think about the big picture of the city. That's and I know it's an inconvenience, and I'm sorry for that.
And as far as whatever is alleged to be poured in the drains, once they finish the project, they have to clean the whole site. Streets, drains, everything. They have to clean everything and leave them working.
I understand. I'm not worried about that at all. Anybody else for citizen presentation?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, next item, please.
Mayor, I want to make a comment on this. I agree with the manager to send the information because the majority of the people, they have no idea that when you start to pour concrete, you have to do the whole thing at the same time. The people don't know that.
I
And if
concur.
you explain this is only temporarily for 2-3 times, that's it. They will understand that. So it's good that the
I
information be
agree.
passed.
I agree.
I also concur with that.
Okay,
We'll put something out very
Yes.
sweet, short, and to the point.
Yes,
thank you.
I agree with you.
Next item, please.
Item 10, unfinished business. Item 10A, resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami authorizing the city manager to execute a certain contract with Communitel Inc. for the installation of one ATM machine in the city of West Miami premises as designated by the city manager, providing for effective date. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Suarez and was deferred at the meeting of May 21st, 2014. Because Commissioner Suarez was not present, and until further information was gathered.
Mayor,
Thank you. Yes.
I brought this idea to the manager, but unfortunately, last meeting, 2 minutes ago, I was not present the day that this item came to the table. I was not here. So if I know that, I ask the manager to postpone the presentation. Because the point is this, I has been seen in the passport, when the people are making the passport, people, they have to pay an extra for the pictures of $20 more or $30 more, and sometimes they have to go out to the grocery store to get money or somewhere, the bank to get money to complete the transaction. So that delay, that's an inconvenience for everybody, for our employees or for the people who come. So this company who have the ATM machines, this is a very wealthy people. I mean, they have a strong company. Number one, if these companies, this machine, if some money is lost in the machine because of mistake or whatever happened, the city never lose a penny because they take care of whatever lost in the money of the ATM machine. The ATM machine is attached to the floor with 4 screws, that you cannot remove. You have to bring, special equipment to remove it. And I think also they give 50 cents to the city, 50 cents per transaction to the city in order to have the machine in the location. So I think this is a convenient thing, the machine, all over the nation and all over the world today. When you have transaction in cash, you have these machines because it's very, very convenient for our employees and for the people who come here to make the passports. So that's why I brought this item will not cost to the city nothing, and will give to the city 50 cents per transaction. And will be a big convenient for the people who come here to make the passports.
Mayor?
Okay, yes.
I don't agree with this. Number one, we don't have a space in the lobby. There's no place for this. Plus, I don't think it's safe for the residents. For the residents and the employees. Because not too long ago, they stole 2 ATM and was on television. So So I don't agree with this. And it's no place in the lobby for this. Where are you planning to put it?
Well, let me tell you, Commissioner Blanca, in the corner where the table, there is a side table there that you just take the magazine on top. That you remove that table that has nothing to do, and you may put the ATM machine there.
No, you can't because they have to move it to put money.
No, when they move, they have to put the money in the machine, they have an opening on the side that they don't have to remove they don't have to move, Candy, they don't have to move the machine to put the money inside.
They don't have an ATM right
And
there.
let me tell you-
Across the,
Wait.
in the
One at a
grocery.
time. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
They have an
finish.
ATM
Finish.
right here in the grocery. Just have to cross, and it's right there. We don't need this.
But
As
isn't
it is, it's crowded. Now put another thing there.
Well, but it's a convenience for
For
our employees.
Nobody.
Well-
For 50 cents, please.
It's an inconvenience for our employees. They have to wait for the people to go out and
No,
go to the grocery.
no.
And if we
I
have the
don't agree.
ATM machine there, it's going to be more fast to finish the transaction of the passport. Number one. And number two, I think the space is there because that
I
table.
don't think so.
Well, that's what I'm telling you.
I don't
Where the
think so.
table is the table that have no use, just to put the magazines on top. And then, don't tell me about the robbery because, we have the city hall, we have the police around the next door.
No,
So-
the police cannot be there inside where the passport is going on.
Candy, if you're talking about robbery,
Yes.
that's what you're talking
Well,
about?
can we?
So please,
No.
they may
Okay.
come to rob the city too. Don't
Instead
talk
of
to me
instead of
about
the back
that.
and forth, I want to hear from different members of this commission first, and then I have a question for the police department.
I got something.
Vice Mayor, go ahead.
Well, if the customer has to go somewhere else, there's a possibility that he will spend more money. Buying something to drink or something to eat, or so it will be a benefit to the city.
How is that?
I think that the employee can start working on maybe another application or doing something differently. But I don't think the employee will be inconvenienced that much, and I think people that come
And
to
safe.
to get a passport, I think they know that they need to have the right amount of payment and the type. So I don't know. And it is crowded in there. I've been in there and I've seen several people sitting there, and they're all there for the passport. And then you have other residents that come in to to pay the water or do something else, and you really have a really crowded space. So I don't know how big this machine is, but I think
It's not a large machine, it's 2 feet
It's 2 by 2 or more
by
or less.
3, 2 by 3.
2 by 2 or something like that. 2 or 2.5, I don't know exactly. But to me, in many offices that they have these systems, they have an ATM machine as a help for the customers and help for our employees that the transaction is doing fast. That's what I think.
Mr. Mayor, I have a couple of questions
Okay, go ahead.
for the manager.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Manager, the only service we provide that requires cash is the passport, correct?
Correct.
So
Part of the passport application.
Part of it, cash.
Yes.
So if a resident comes in and they want to pay their water bill, whatever, we accept credit cards and debit cards.
Yes, and
So
checks.
The only time they would need cash is for a portion of
Yes.
the passport.
Yes.
Now, in your estimation, just ballpark figure, how many customers come in that don't have cash, that have to leave and go get cash? I'm just an idea.
Yeah,
One, two, have any
That's a
idea?
difficult question to
Difficult, okay, so-
answer.
but
Reason being,
not
because
many?
some of them come and they already have all the information from the website.
Correct, so
Not
they're
only
getting-
from ours, from the Department
So
of
the
State.
information is available that cash is required on the website. the
And we tell
passport
them when they
agency,
call for
Usually
information.
they call in for
Right.
information, so the majority.
The majority
Other people
comes
know
with all the
that they have cash.
documentation. Some of them, we send them next door to get cash to
Sure.
pay for the
Just across
pictures
the parking lot.
and for the acceptance facility fee.
And if by some chance Tropical, the grocery store's ATM machine is down, CVS has an ATM. So it's still very close. Not walkable, but, you know, it's a 2-minute, very quick drive to go get your cash if you need it.
It is. I mean, it hasn't deterred people from coming
Hasn't
back,
deterred
if
people from coming.
that's your
So
question.
let's just say, you know, down the road, if for some reason Tropical takes out the ATM or whatever, we could perhaps revisit this because the circumstances will warrant us to maybe revisit this at that time if an ATM is not accessible.
We can
Down the road. We
bring.
can revisit this at any time.
Sure, sure.
But right now, it doesn't seem that it's a really big issue as far as the customer not having cash. It's not presenting a huge problem.
It hasn't. It's been presented as yet another service to people that come to the city to process passport, but it hasn't been an issue
We
up to
probably
now.
haven't we probably haven't lost any customers because of that. Like
I
someone,
don't think
if we
so.
send any cash and they have to leave, they don't come back. They still come back with their
Yes.
cash. They
Yes,
go get
they
the cash,
do.
they come back.
Yes.
Maybe go to the bank, come back, and they still
Yeah,
come
they go
and
to the grocery
get the
store and come
passport
back.
from us. So we haven't lost any service, so to speak. We have not been
No.
able to provide this service to a customer because of that.
No,
because
we
of not
don't turn
having
them
an ATM.
away.
We
We
don't turn-
direct them next door to get their cash.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, may I, Commissioner Rodriguez, let me tell you, I brought this to the table as a convenience,
Right, of course.
not as a priority.
Of course,
This doesn't mean that it's a necessary thing.
of course.
I saw people in the counter and you know, going, the wife, the husband, the children wait here. I go to the grocery store to get cash. So several times I saw that struggling. And so I thought the ATM machine helped instantly in the
Of
place.
course.
But it's not a priority.
Right.
This
No, no,
is something that
completely
it's
understand.
not a priority. No,
Completely
don't worry
understand.
about it.
So maybe at this time, since
No,
we
forget
don't.
about it. I
we
withdraw.
we can revisit it
This
at a
is-
later time.
This
if
is not
need
a
be.
priority, no. I just brought that as convenient. But if you think it is not necessary, make it, forget it. You know the proof. This is not a priority, it's not necessary. I thought it was a convenience, especially for our employees, that they had to wait for the people to go out and come back, and the wife and the children.
No,
and
I
the
think it was a great thought that you brought forward for us to discuss and to look at, you know, to look at it all together. I think it was a great idea to bring it to the table for consideration.
Okay, so you say you were withdrawing the Commissioner Suarez?
Well,
Is it the
if I
overall
see the members at the
consensus, or?
table that they hesitate with this and they
That it
think
should
it's
be
a-
revisited at a later.
It's a negative, forget it.
No, it's not a negative. I think it was a good idea for you to bring it,
It's not,
to look
this
at
is not
it.
necessary.
Right. But
I
it's
thought it was a
something,
convenient, that's it.
and I totally agree with you. We can
That's
look
it.
at it, we can leave it, you know, look at it later down the road
Okay.
if it becomes more of a necessity.
Yeah,
All right.
this is
Yeah.
not-
Good.
All right, so the item has been withdrawn, and is that correct, Mr. Attorney?
Yes. Oh,
Okay, all right. So, next item?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, next item is item 11B. This is a presentation of Promenade Project for the area immediately in front of City Hall to be funded by the FDOT TAP grant awarded to the City of West Miami by eliminating one circle and rerouting the dollars to provide for the project by the Director of Public Works.
Go ahead, Mr. Pena.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. As you know, when we applied for the TAP funds from the state of Florida, we had originally 22 circles. One of them was deleted from the project, and that funding was given back to us to fund something else. So rather than put in another circle where we're not in need of, we suggested that we do a traffic calming device in front of City Hall and provide pedestrian crosswalks where there are none now. So this would do that kind of work. However, since Southwest 62nd Avenue is a county roadway, I believe we were going to delay this for a future date so that Miami-Dade County Public Works could look at it and also many other departments within Commissioner Sosa's district, correct?
Yes, sir.
That is correct. But I would like to, the reason I wanted to leave it in the agenda is when we put things away, they don't happen. So the reason I believe we left it on the agenda, but you're correct. We need to continue this conversation with District 6 Commissioner. It is a county road, and we need to follow the proper procedures just to make sure that everybody's in line. I think it's a great idea. You have, unfortunately, there's no, we don't have the nice rendering over here, but you have a copy here that is part of your package. And basically, it's trying to establish an identity and sort of an entrance to the city, and by the same token, it's a calming device. That intersection, I'm not a police officer, but I think that intersection is an intersection where, especially when you see people crossing, especially from 9th Street straight into City Hall, it's a little, I don't know, I wish we could do a circle there, but from what I understand, due to the traffic or the delivery on the supermarket,
It
we
would
might
not
not
be
be able to
feasible,
do
no.
that. So, but it would be ideal to do actually an actual circle. But this has been done in many cities, and basically by just changing the texture of the pavement, it sort of alerts people and makes them slow down, and also it will enhance the entrance to the City Hall, and then there's some other fixtures that.
Well,
that-
there's curbing and landscaping that's going in to narrow down the lanes so they're not as open. It tends, when you're narrowing traffic into a more congested area with landscaping and stuff like that, they tend to slow down.
And we also contemplating providing some marquees for the entrance of the city and et cetera, and also, looking at the horrendous marquee that we have over there,
Well, that's a safety issue we have at hand. I mean, a bad rainstorm will knock that marquee down right
Yeah.
now.
So anyway, but again, I think we need to defer the item, and for that matter, also item C. That is correct, right?
Yes,
That's
Mayor,
part of
and we have reached out to Chairwoman Sosa's office, and you know that she left for Washington yesterday, and she will be coming back, and her chief of staff, Mrs. Aguirre, will be scheduling a meeting with your office and obviously Mr. Pena, and to discuss the matter further. They would like to bring in, of course, fire rescue to make sure that they are okay with the improvements. And obviously, that's going to deter a lot of the trucks that are parking or that are actually stopping traffic going southbound and northbound in the morning, and your local traffic is coming to a complete halt there. So, and it's going to create a sense of identity right in front of City Hall. So hopefully this meeting will take place next week, and we can bring this back at the next commission meeting.
Plus, under the TAP grant, we only have a year to do the work, so it's got to come back.
Time is of the essence.
Right. Okay, thank you. Next item?
Item C is deferred. Item 11D is a presentation of concept in reference to welcome flash entrance signs at different locations throughout the city, creating an identity
defer?
that blends with our city's architectural style, by City Manager and Director of Public Works.
Shall we defer this, or do you want to talk about it?
Could we at least get
Yes.
the concept or the
Yes.
ball rolling, as they
Yeah,
say?
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Juan will walk you through some details, but what we thought would go hand in hand with this promenade project would be to have some welcome, basically update our welcome to the city of West Miami sign by putting something more majestical in there. We want to make sure that residents, new residents, and as well as old residents feel proud of the city where they live. I think a sense of identity is nice. And we provided to you a sample of some very simple columns that we could use as entrance signs into our little oasis here. And so I think Mr. Pena has some thoughts about where those signs could be placed. We discussed this with the mayor in a meeting. I believe we discussed it with you, Commissioner Suarez. You came by the office and you saw it.
I agree.
I haven't had an opportunity to meet with the rest of the commission. This, if you agree with something like this, would be funded out of the impact fee dollars that are coming to the city from developments. And this is exactly the reason why these impact fees are in place, so that we can put the money back in our community. We want to preserve property values, quality of life, and create a sense of identity that is timeless here for many years to come. So that being said, I don't know much about the construction of what it entails, but if you can add to what I've just reported, the commission may have some questions about it.
There will be similar columns like what we erected around the rec center, only a little bit wider, at a CVS block with features on them in order to show where the city starts and where it ends. On 62nd Avenue would be one place that we want to put one on each side of the road. Also on 8th and towards 8th Street and some towards 20th Street where the city ends. And also on 16th Street, which are the two main entrances for the city, on 57th Avenue and on 16th Street. These will be columns with the city seal, perhaps lighting depending on the cost, some type of lantern on top, features like that that will identify the city, where it starts and where it ends.
Mayor,
Yes.
let me tell you, and when I said that I agree, there is a great example about this. Years ago, I remember, I have a friend who still owns the service station in 62nd Avenue and Sunset. And the traffic was, fast, it was a problem. Then the city of South Miami, they did in front of the city hall, that type of red bricks or cement or artistic concrete, whatever you want to go. And once they did that, I used to go there with my friends, so I go there sometimes twice a week. And since the day they put those bricks, the traffic calm. When the people see that, they hold the speed. It's very convenient, especially for us that we have here the senior center, and we have the old persons, the senior residents park there, they work with some difficulties, they cross the 62nd Avenue, and this is an area that will help us a lot in many, many, many ways. That's what I said, I agree totally, because that help calm the traffic in front of the city hall and will make our area more, not only beautiful, but also more convenient, really,
Correct.
and safe.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you agree with the concept, we could come back with a proposal or at least a statement of probable costs of how much it would cost to build these structures. And so, but we first wanted to bring you an idea before we move forward to obtain a cost estimate.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Vice Mayor.
Lighting. I think that's very important.
Y-
At night, they need to be lit.
Lit
some-
in some fashion.
Yeah.
So that people can see them.
Yeah.
And obviously, they would be built
Good point.
on right-of-ways, Mr. Penna?
Yes, they have to be.
Parkways.
Areas of public.
Okay.
And also, if we put some light there, will help the fire department, to the trucks and fire rescue, when they go in and out, so will be a help for your friends.
Well,
Right?
They're young, they got
Mr.
good
Captain?
eyes.
Thank you. We'll bring you a cost estimate.
Okay. 11F.
11E is the
Oh,
next
I'm sorry.
item. 11E is a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami authorizing the city manager to proceed with the implementation of the Welcome Signs project at several entrance locations throughout the City of West Miami to be funded 100% by impact fee dollars collected for general services, providing for the selection of intersections for construction of same. Mayor and City Commission.
Okay, do we need to make a motion? then?
Motion.
Okay, so, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, can you call the vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Rodriguez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Mujina?
Yes.
5-0, item passes. Item 11F, report and recommendation by the Office of the Director of Public Works in reference to installation of parking meters along Southwest 9th Street as approved, Director of Public Works and City Manager.
Can you read item G as well, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Item G is a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami authorizing the city manager to piggyback off the City of Hollywood contract agreement with the IPS Group Parking and Telecommunications in lieu of the City of West Miami competitive procedure, accepting a competitive bid which has been secured on behalf of the City of Hollywood for the purpose of purchasing parking meters as part of the city's parking meter program and ongoing maintenance for a cap of $10,000 to be funded 100% from surtax PTP funds consisting of 20 meters, providing for enforcement of meters, providing for effective date by Mayor and City Commission.
Thank you. Mr. Penna?
Mr. Mayor, as you know, when we did the Southwest 9th Street improvements for parking, we had agreed to install parking meters. We're to that point where we could order the parking meters for the area. Rather than put out a bid on our own, there were several bids available from different vendors, and the one from IPS, which the chief actually found this one years ago when we were discussing the issue, has an existing contract with the City of Hollywood where they happen to be the lowest prices that we found in meters so far for completely new meters, the way that the manager requested them with the ability of having a credit card or a coin-operated method of payment. The 20 meters will be in the area of $7,300 per the bid from the City of Hollywood. And then we have ongoing costs for the use of the IPS service, which is the credit card services to the meters per month. And after that, those are items that are paid by the user of the parking meter.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Can you call the vote, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner Rodriguez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Mujina?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Okay. Item H, please.
Item 11H, report by the Office of the City Manager regarding the 4th of July program revenues from sponsors and anticipated expenses by City Manager.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor is showing the flyers. To add to that, Mr. Mayor, I just want to assure the commission that thanks to the corporate sponsorships, the city has been able to basically cover the expenses for the event. We have a line item in the amount of $22,000 for this fiscal year. And as of this writing, we have charged a total of $10,000 for previous events. We have $12,000 that we can charge to this account. However, based on the level of the corporate contributions, the city will only need to dip into this account to the tune of $5,000. So we're very comfortable that we will stay well below the budget item so that we can be able to put together a nice 4th of July event. We are having a meeting with the department directors to go through the operational plan on Tuesday, June 24th. And again, I've attached a copy of the memo issued to me by Kari, my assistant, who takes care of all these special events. And there's a breakdown of the donations received and also the estimated expenses to include fireworks, watermelons, refrigerated trucks, the staff, and the overtime expenses by Public Works to basically provide maintenance efforts to the event. So we're very comfortable. There's a detailed breakdown in here, and if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to it. Next item.
Item I, request to cancel the first commission meeting of August. It's the August 6, 2014 commission meeting as customary for the summer by city manager.
Okay. Any questions? As customary, we
Customary.
cancel this meeting. According to the charter,
Yeah.
all we need to do is hold one meeting
That is correct.
per month.
That is
So we're in
correct.
compliance.
Yes.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Go to
Thank
the
you.
order. Chief.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, just to announce that I nominated Officer Manuel Bello for the Florida Police Chiefs Association Officer of the Year, and I received notification last week that he was selected as the Officer of the Year in the state of Florida for police agencies with under 50 officers. Really proud of his accomplishments, and that's 2 Officers of the Year in the last 3 years. So
Wow.
our guys are doing really good.
Chief, you have a good eye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for the good of the order? Yes.
Good evening. My name is Jose Fuentes. I'm living at 2140 Southwest 65th Avenue. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, officials. And I'm apologize to being late. I just couldn't make it before to be with Mr. Suero, express his concern about the hours of working of the building on 67 and 22nd. We are dissatisfied with the hours. It was only one time, but it was at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't gonna go through the whole thing. You know about it. I expressed my concern already to the city manager, and thank you for listening to me. I understand what Mr. Pena said. I am in construction. We know that a slab has to be built, as you know well, in one time. You cannot do it a couple of times, or one piece there, the next day. But they can start working a little bit later, like at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7. This is a more appropriate hour. But those trucks start at 1:30 in the morning. My alarm went off, and the whole neighborhood was wake up for the entire process that morning. I wish, that they take that into consideration, and the next time they're going to do something like that, which is going to happen, that they make a schedule to work, even if they have to go into the night. But it's better to work at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night than start at 2 o'clock in the morning.
We will take it into consideration.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. Motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good night.